Section 8 of Villette by Charlotte Bronte. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Leanne Fortune, Section 8. Foreigners say that it is only English girls who can thus be trusted to travel alone, and deep is their wonder at the daring confidence of English parents and guardians. As for the jeunes miss, by some their intrepidity is pronounced masculine and inconvenant. Others regard them as the passive victims of an educational and theological system which wantonly dispenses with proper surveillance. Whether this particular young lady was of the sort that can the most safely be left unwatched, I do not know, or rather did not then know, but it soon appeared that the dignity of solitude was not to her taste. She paced the deck once or twice, backwards and forwards. She looked with a little sour air of disdain at the flaunting silks and velvets, and the bears which thereon danced attendance, and eventually she approached me and spoke. "Are you fond of a sea voyage?" was her question. I explained that my fondness for a sea voyage had yet to undergo the test of experience. I had never made one. "Oh, how charming!" cried she. "I quite envy you the novelty. First impressions, you know, are so pleasant. Now I have made so many, I quite forget the first. I'm quite blasé about the sea and all that." I could not help smiling. "Why do you laugh at me?" she inquired, with a frank testiness that pleased me better than her other talk. "Because you are so young to be blasé about anything." "I am 17, a little piqued." "You hardly look 16. Do you like travelling alone?" "Bah! I care nothing about it. I have crossed the Channel 10 times, alone. But then I take care never to be long alone. I always make friends." "You will scarcely make many friends this voyage, I think," glancing at the Watson group, who were now laughing and making a great deal of noise on deck. "Not of those odious men and women," said she. "Such people should be steerage passengers. Are you going to school?" "No." "Where are you going?" "I have not the least idea, beyond, at least, the port of Beaumarine." She stared, then carelessly ran on. "I am going to school. Oh, the number of foreign schools I have been at in my life! And yet I am quite an ignoramus. I know nothing in the world, I assure you, except that I play and dance beautifully, and French and German of course I know to speak, but I can't read or write them very well. Do you know they wanted me to translate a page of an easy German book into English the other day, and I couldn't do it. Papa was so mortified. He says it looks as if Monsieur de Bassompierre, my godpapa, who pays all my school bills, had thrown away all his money, and then, in matters of information, in history, geography, arithmetic, and so on, I am quite a baby, and I write English so badly. Such spelling and grammar, they tell me. Into the bargain, I have quite forgotten my religion. They call me a Protestant, you know, but really I am not sure whether I am one or not. I don't well know the difference between Romanism and Protestantism. However, I don't in the least care for that. I was a Lutheran once at Bonn. Dear Bonn! Charming Bonn, where there were so many handsome students. Every nice girl in our school had an admirer. They knew our hours for walking out, and almost always passed us on the promenade. Schön Mädchen, we used to hear them say. I was excessively happy at Bonn." "And where are you now?" I inquired. "Oh, at Joe's," said she. Now, Miss Ginevra Fanshawe, such was this young person's name, only substituted this word, Joe's, in temporary oblivion of the real name. It was a habit she had. Chose came in at every turn in her conversation, the convenient substitute for any missing word in any language she might chance at the time to be speaking. French girls often do the like. From them she had caught the custom chose. However, I found in this instance stood for Villette, the great capital of the great kingdom of Labassecour. "Do you like Villette?" I asked. "Pretty well. The natives, you know, are intensely stupid and vulgar, but there are some nice English families." "Are you in a school?" "Yes." "A good one?" "Oh no, horrid. But I go out every Sunday and care nothing about the maîtresse or the professeur or the élèves, and send lessons au diable. One daren't say that in English, you know, but it sounds quite right in French. And thus I get on charmingly. You are laughing at me again?" "No, I am only smiling at my own thoughts." "What are they?" without waiting for an answer. "Now, do tell me where you are going." "Where fate may lead me. My business is to earn a living where I can find it." "To earn?" in consternation. "Are you poor, then?" "As poor as Job," after a pause. "Bah! How unpleasant! But I know what it is to be poor. They are poor enough at home, papa and mamma, and all of them." "Papa is called Captain Fanshawe. He is an officer on half pay, but well descended, and some of our connections are great enough. But my uncle and godpapa, de Bassompierre, who lives in France, is the only one that helps us. He educates us girls. I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers. By and by we are to marry, rather elderly gentlemen, I suppose, with cash. Papa and mamma manage that. My sister Augusta is married now to a man much older looking than papa. Augusta is very beautiful, not in my style, but dark. Her husband, Mr. Davies, had the yellow fever in India, and he is still the color of a guinea. But then he is rich, and Augusta has her carriage and establishment, and we all think she has done perfectly well. Now, this is better than earning a living, as you say. By the way, are you clever?" "No, not at all." "You can play, sing, speak 3 or 4 languages?" "By no means." "Still, I think you are clever." A pause and a yawn. "Shall you be seasick?" "Shall you?" "Oh, immensely, as soon as ever we get in sight of the sea. I begin indeed to feel it already. I shall go below. And won't I order about that fat, odious stewardess? Heureusement je sais faire aller mon monde." Down she went. It was not long before the other passengers followed her. Throughout the afternoon I remained on deck alone. When I recall the tranquil and even happy mood in which I passed those hours, and remember at the same time the position in which I was placed, its hazardous, some would have said its hopeless character, I feel that as stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage, so peril, loneliness, an uncertain future are not oppressive evils, so long as the frame is healthy and the faculties are employed. So long, especially, as liberty lends us her wings, and hope guides us by her star. I was not sick till long after we passed Margate, and deep was the pleasure I drank in with the sea breeze, divine the delight I drew from the heaving channel waves, from the sea birds on their ridges, from the white sails on their dark distance, from the quiet yet beclouded sky overhanging all. In my reverie, methought I saw the continent of Europe, like a wide dreamland, far away. Sunshine lay on it, making the long coast one line of gold, tiniest tracery of clustered town and snow-gleaming tower. of woods deep-massed, of heights serrated, of smooth pasturage and veiny stream, embossed the metal-bright prospect. For background spread a sky, solemn and dark blue, and, grand with imperial promise, soft with tints of enchantment, strode from north to south a God-bent bow, an arch of hope. Cancel the whole of that, if you please, reader, or rather let it stand, and draw thence a moral, an alliterative text-hand copy. Daydreams are delusions of the demon. Becoming excessively sick, I faltered down into the cabin. Miss Fanshawe's berth chanced to be next mine, and, I am sorry to say, she tormented me with an unsparing selfishness during the whole time of our mutual distress. Nothing could exceed her impatience and fretfulness. The Watsons, who were very sick too, and on whom the stewardess attended with shameless partiality, were stoics compared with her. Many a time since have I noticed, in persons of Ginevra Fanshawe's light, careless temperament and fair, fragile style of beauty, an entire incapacity to endure. They seem to sour in adversity, like small beer in thunder. The man who takes such a woman for his wife ought to be prepared to guarantee her an existence all sunshine. Indignant at last with her teasing peevishness, I curtly requested her to hold her tongue. The rebuff did her good, and it was observable that she liked me no worse for it. As dark night drew on, the sea roughened, larger waves swayed strong against the vessel's side. It was strange to reflect that blackness and water were round us, and to feel the ship ploughing straight on her pathless way, despite noise, billow, and rising gale. Articles of furniture began to fall about, and it became needful to lash them to their places. The passengers grew sicker than ever. Miss Fanshawe declared with groans that she must die. "Not just yet, honey," said the stewardess. "We're just in port." Accordingly, in another quarter of an hour, a calm fell upon us all, and about midnight the voyage ended. I was sorry. Yes, I was sorry. My resting time was past. My difficulties, my stringent difficulties, recommenced. When I went on deck, the cold air and black scowl of the night seemed to rebuke me for my presumption in being where I was. The lights of the foreign seaport town, glimmering round the foreign harbour, met me like unnumbered, threatening eyes. Friends came on board to welcome the Watsons. A whole family of friends surrounded and bore away Miss Fanshawe. But I dared not for one moment dwell on a comparison of positions. Yet where should I go? I must go somewhere. Necessity dare not be nice. As I gave the stewardess her fee, and she seemed surprised at receiving a coin of more value than, from such a quarter, her coarse calculations had probably reckoned on, I said, "Be kind enough to direct me to some quiet, respectable inn where I can go for the night." She not only gave me the required direction, but called a commissionaire and bid him take charge of me, and not my trunk, for that was gone to the custom-house. I followed this man along a rudely paved street, lit now by a fitful gleam of moonlight. He brought me to the inn. I offered him sixpence, which he refused to take. Supposing it not enough, I changed it for a shilling, but this also he declined, speaking rather sharply in a language to me unknown. A waiter, coming forward into the lamp-lit inn passage, reminded me, in broken English, that my money was foreign money, not current here. I gave him a sovereign to change. This little matter settled, I asked for a bedroom. Supper I could not take. I was still seasick and unnerved and trembling all over. How deeply glad I was when the door of a very small chamber at length closed on me and my exhaustion. Again I might rest. Though the cloud of doubt would be as thick to-morrow as ever, the necessity for exertion more urgent, the peril of destitution nearer, the conflict for existence more severe. End of section 8. Recording by Leanne Fortune.